Welcome back. Last time on Y2K, we were offered the option to make out with Vella.
And we did not take it because we are barely passing the bar for decent human beings that this game is setting for us.
We are classy gentlemen. So in all seriousness, what we actually agreed to do was go back and play the record for everybody to hear, because we have to get Vella's feel-good hit of the summer out to the masses.
Which we're still not entirely sure exactly what it is or why it might be popular or good, because we briefly wandered into another version of assumedly Alex's Mind Dungeon. There was some soft J-pop playing in the background, and there was a very creepy image that I'm trying very hard to purge from my consciousness. But also, it's Halloween now. When was this happening?
Well, it's been Halloween for a little while. I think this is supposed to be like, this is almost like in-game kind of heading up to fight the final boss kind of music, right?
Absolutely.
This would be great if they remember to spawn the enemies back in and give me a challenge. They did reset all the puzzles.
That would actually entail you would have to go back and actually go through the game's combat system again, and who wants that, really?
I think this is a preferable solution.
I do wonder what awaits us with some trepidation.
A cutscene.
For everyone, time is measured.
Oh, and it's Alex talking about something we don't care about.
Myself,
Come on, Alex.
since Sammy had been missing.
We're not toward the end of the game yet.
For
I was
Michael,
kind of hoping you could
it
avoid
was
going
days
full
until
Johnny
school
5
began,
aces.
and he lost his freedom. For Vella,
I think that ship's
time was
already
measured in
sailed a
music.
very long time ago.
Careless and overwhelming existence.
Imagine
where the
4
oral
LPs
world
on a
carried
cliff.
more weight than the physical world. For Claudio and Rory, it was days since their siblings vanished from their lives. For Chandra, I think it was days until she could escape counting days since her little brother's disappearance.
Yeah.
But for all of us,
So,
time moved to the same
yeah, this kind of summation
Calculating
does
days
kind
until
of
we found a
belong
way
at
to
the
feel
end of a game, but what are the chances that they're actually going
Should
to
I
find
play
some
it?
way to resolve anything in the next 20 minutes?
Well, we've come this far.
Yeah, we've come this far. It'd be stupid not to do it.
I'm ready, guys. I feel like something exciting is about to happen.
Exciting's
Hopefully this
a
isn't a
word for it,
mistake.
Rory.
Worst comes to worst, we made the world a little better with some beautiful music.
Worst comes to worst, we summon the
Just
final
do
boss.
it already.
Worst comes to worst, we have to keep playing. Okay, so the soft J-pop is in fact what Mystical Ultimate LP Legend is all about.
Yes, and it summons RVs.
And now we're... Oh, so this might actually get explained now?
Hopefully.
Alright.
Yeah, so apparently she's playable.
And I want to say she's trying to rip off Cloud Strife and a Kingdom Hearts character at the same time.
Yeah, and somehow she manages to do both. I do actually think the animation on her attack thing is pretty neat, though.
Yeah. And I'll say this. I mean, it's not exactly hard to make fun of Tetsuya Nomura-inspired character designs, as he did do both Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII.
Fuck this attack thing.
I don't get why we now have 3 characters that have mostly just plain striped article of clothing, though.
Yeah, I don't know what this is about. Have Have you ever seen a summer dress with horizontal stripes like that?
I don't know what about it would be particularly idiomatic for the 90s, but I believe it exists on a bargain bin shelf somewhere.
I swear I do eventually get better at this.
I mean, it does amount to another variation of the Judgment Ring. It's just a somewhat differently framed but harder version of what Alex does normally.
Yeah, this is significantly more difficult than any of the other of these.
Well, I guess it makes up for it, at least, by being able to be repeatable several times.
Oh god, she does the peace sign.
Are you guys okay? What just
Oh no, we're
happened?
having this discussion again.
Yes.
Holy shit! Did you guys
Oh,
see that?
please. Please, everybody relate with slightly different phrasing what exactly is going on in a way that doesn't answer any questions.
It would have been funny in any other context.
Actually, that was a pretty good line, Chandra.
I did see
Yeah,
it.
fair enough.
It was amazing.
It was the woman made of plastic that I've been dreaming about.
There's gotta be a better way to phrase that,
Woman
Alex.
made of plastic? What does that mean, Alex?
She's like an android or something, but she's like plastic.
And she's camped out in an RV in the woods of
That's
New
happened
Jersey?
to you before?
Except
Yeah,
the room
like,
we've been seeing
once
is
or twice.
definitely not an
It's been a
RV.
recurring
It's
dream.
way too big for that.
But
It's
the
even
entities
described
that
in
were behind
narration
the
as
camera,
a hospital room or
She
something.
destroyed them so
Yeah,
easily,
but
and-
remember
and
that
wasn't
Alex
banished, she
never
was using.
reacted to having that vision,
She's still in
right?
danger?
No.
As
She
far
was
as we
stuck
could
in
tell,
bed.
it was just sort of a stupid aside
She
they
could destroy
decided to
the
put in.
entities so easily,
And now
I don't
apparently
think there's
he's
much danger
been
she could be
dreaming
in.
about it.
But we need to find her.
Again, we talk about
That's why
weaknesses in the
entity who was
writing,
living with me
and
had us play the record, right?
this game
to
really
wake her
seems
up.
to have a problem with creating a
I
linkage
agree.
between
You're
its
right, but
various
what's actually
elements
going
of
on here?
nonsense.
What is she?
We're just being told now
You
that this
okay?
is a dream that he's been
Yeah,
having,
I
and
am,
it's
but
really not.
forget it. Never mind.
It wasn't
I can't
indicated
really
by
explain
anything
yet.
that's come up yet.
It's just a feeling.
Which is kind of incredible,
Give me
because
some
the
time,
only
and
thing
maybe
they
I'll be
needed
able
to
put it
say
into words.
in order to establish that it was a dream that Alex has been
So,
having,
what's the
rather than
plan
just
here?
kind of throwing it in
We
as
just
one
go
of
and
these
try and find the
player
van this
knows this,
mysterious
but the
android
characters
is in?
don't kind of cutscenes,
If only we
is,
could have seen the
hey, did you
outside of
guys
the
see
van,
that?
Then we'd at least know what we're
Or,
supposed to be looking
boy, that
for.
was a weird dream.
Wow, did you all see that lady made of plastic? Because I sure did. Oh, hey, Rory.
Hey, Alex, do you have a minute?
What's up?
Oh boy.
I was wondering if we could go somewhere and talk for a bit. There's been something on my mind. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Eh.
So, what's wrong?
Not sure if
Well,
we're in pizza
I don't know,
pasta
I've
or
just had a lot
sports.
on my mind lately, and
We're definitely in the exact same restaurant
Your
we
time,
were
man.
in a few cutscenes ago.
well, I've just been really depressed.
Yeah, that sounds
lately.
about right.
So we've gone
Thinking about
halfway
my
across
sister,
the
my parents,
map
just
of
how
Island,
much
New
life is
Jersey,
going to
just to
change
come
from
here.
now on. My sister was a lot younger than me, but she really was my best friend. And now she's gone. I feel aimless. We had plans, things we wanted to do in the future, places we wanted to go, movies that we wanted to see, new games to play together. And now none of that will happen. Sometimes I wish, you know what I mean, right?
Bad things happen, but life has to move on, right? You don't have your sister anymore, but you have all of us. Michael, me, Vella, Chandra, Claudio. We can't replace your sister, but we're happy that you're still here.
Where did all this
If you
compassion
had become
come
a
from?
soul survivor, then we never would have met you, and that's
This is
impressive.
really out of character for Alex, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
not the best with these sort of things, but basically I'm saying I'm happy we met you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. This is awkward. Let's go find the android or something.
Let's go.
I'll be honest, I would have contemplated that a minute longer, but
I don't think I've ever loved a woman before.
Oh, well, the moment I processed what that said, I was like, I'm just going to take that and do the exact
my sister,
opposite.
My cousins, my female friends. I love them, but not in the way that's filled with a romantic sense of love. I've had 7 girlfriends throughout college and high school. None of them lasted long, and I never minded when things were over. Something funny happened that night when I went to bed. I had a dream again.
oh, so now we're getting
It was
told
about
this.
the android, but she wasn't trapped inside a moving man. She was free and human. In my dream, I knew her very well.
I had mentioned this
We'd
in
been
the
together for a
thread
long
that
time.
apparently something comes of this game later on that's
I knew inside my
reliant
heart how
on
well
the
she
fact that
treated
it
me.
hasn't been telling us all of the
I knew
information
the first time.
Sure.
She was the
that's
only
that's
woman I'd ever
necessary to
treated
kind
well.
of gauge how the twist works, and I'm
Inside
kind
my
of seeing
dream,
shades of that already where
she
it says,
entered my dreams.
oh, here's a twist,
She entered my thoughts.
clearly you didn't see it
She
coming,
filled up every part of
and
my mind.
well, the
Even
problem
parts
was
I
we've
wanted to hide
been
away.
doing our best to
She was
try
like
and
the old
analyze
Bruce
what's been
Lee,
happening
but
carefully,
healed.
and
She was my water.
this is showing
She was
signs
my
of that
voice.
kind of,
Nothing could
I
be
guess,
hidden
slightly
from her.
chiding tone, which is to
didn't-
say, oh, you know, as
she didn't
players,
judge.
you should have known that Alex
didn't have a
was
place to judge.
experiencing these dreams about the robot because, well, now he's talking about it and now he's clarifying
She, unlike all
everything.
other humans,
But that's a twist
was
that
aware
really
of
doesn't
human
work
flaws.
because it
She
hasn't
didn't
been
pretend we didn't
it hasn't been
feel
preceded by any kind of
violence,
clues
jealousy,
or any
sex.
sort
It
of
was a person.
indication that we're
She got that.
supposed to be following some of
If only
this.
she was too.
Tee hee hee hee
She
hee.
is and always
You
will
didn't
be
get the twist,
a woman
and
made
that's,
of plastic.
you know, maybe if
I
you
know
were a
how far
smarter
this
reader,
is,
you wouldn't have
trust me.
believed us when we totally
Can a
lied to
woman made
you.
of plastic be loved so much by a real flesh and blood
And
human?
now he's talking about how he
Woke up the next
has
morning
fallen in
cold
love with
sweat.
a robot girl.
What was I feeling?
Yes, supposedly,
It's like
but
a
not
warm light
not
surrounded
her. It's the dream of her.
Someone had flipped a switch in my brain, and I now understood something I wasn't capable of understanding before. I felt a weird joy inside me. Like I had a secret no one else was allowed to know. A secret that was meant only for my ears. And it was the android who told me. But it couldn't. I tried to recall the dream, but it was already
I want to
slipping
be able
away.
to provide some kind of
periphery of my
commentary
mind.
for this in terms of,
I couldn't
you know,
remember
something a
specific
little
scenes, but
deeper
I could
than just,
remember the feeling the
he's
dream had
fallen
given
in
me.
love with the robot girl.
they
What
wouldn't
the hell,
believe me.
Alex? But
I don't know what to say about it.
I don't.
Rory, then
The problem
Claudia,
is I have
then
no
Chandra.
idea where it's going at this point.
I had
It's
no
not
desire to see
going
me leave.
anywhere.
Frankly, I suspect that it's not. Yeah.
And Sammy, and I felt weird. Like I had done something wrong. As if I had wronged them somehow in the dream.
So
Just like that.
I think what I'm coming away from
needed to
with
see
all
Vella.
this is specifically
Why?
what this says
Why did
about
he
his
suddenly have the urge to
interactions
apologize?
with the ladies in this story that
I
he's
wasn't
been pining
thank
for.
her?
Probably
No, I
Sammy
don't know
and
why,
Vella in particular.
But I needed to find
Right.
her. and
I
do
think
it
this
alone.
is again going to be one of those things where maybe Alex turns over a new leaf because he understands what being emotionally connected to somebody means. It just if they had to do that, why did they have to do it with the robot girl?
And again, we have no real conceit of what she means to the story as of yet, other than Alex apparently feels this deep, abiding love for her that is, well, we don't know what it's based on yet. We don't know what the circumstances surrounding it are, and we definitely find it suspect because, well, one, this is Alex we're talking about, and two, we've only just been introduced.
Yeah, this has no significance to us, the player, except to say that he's apparently fallen in love with a girl from the Ring video, or something. Let's go back to our old mainstay, Matt Hawkins. Having a real conversation, for once.
You know, he's having this talk with the guy who's wanting to give up on writing the zine.
Well, I have nothing else to do with my money, so...
Sure.
I literally have enough to buy maybe 2 decent used cars. I'm not really missing that money.
Yeah, so attractive female is not a descriptor you want to put for just an NPC character in your game, guys.
Especially not when she's the only female in town.
Anyway, yeah, so as far as Matt Hawkins' story is concerned, I guess I pointed out at some point earlier, it may have been in the actual LP, it may have been in the thread. As far as themes with this game, the only thing I'm seeing kind of emerge as a theme is this idea of lack of effort. It's not that it's a theme that's actually reflected in the story, but it's a theme that seems to be inherent in its mechanics and design, and the fact that the story is just full of these first draft mistakes and structural problems that really should have been edited out and pared down over time.
Oh, yeah.
Everything just feels so passionless, and that's honestly... This whole story with Matt Hawkins at the zine shop is just a microcosm of that.
Does that make sense?
It's literally, this story is about giving money to someone, wanting them to do a good job, and then just watching them flail, and then ultimately deciding to give them more or not, while also pithily lecturing them about the nature of effort.
You picked up on that too, did you?
It's Christmas.
I never thought of it that way. I love the fall too.
I'm saying that I feel like we both might have lived somewhat better lives over the past couple of months if the creators of this game just gave up.
Or if they bothered to, like, give it to an editor.
I was good at school.
This game would not be bad if they just ran it through 1 or 2 passes of editing.
Philosophy.
I mean, granted, there are still fundamental problems with the game that you can't fix just by looking at its story, but they'd be on the way to success, you
I have a
know?
lot of dreams.
It'd be a huge step up, and again, I feel like if there was that kind of effort made, it would have poked through the grime a little bit more.
Damn it, Mode Wondershot, we can
sad
polish
socks.
this turd.
Something.
I think we're doing the best we can
Can I ask
under
you
the
a serious
circumstances.
Go for it, Ginger Boy.
What was your world like? The one you came from?
Okay, this could actually go somewhere.
I don't think anyone has asked me that since I've been here.
Probably because
Wow.
nobody else knew that you were
I
from
try not
another
to think
world.
about my old reality, but it really wasn't all that bad. Things are mostly the same. We had more cows, though. Lots of cows. And the music? Different. Your metal is our pop. Isn't that weird? My mother would love your thrash metal. We also didn't
That's
say
actually pretty
the
awesome.
90s. We called it the end times. Isn't that funny?
It is pretty
We all
awesome,
joked that
but
2000 would be
boy,
the end of
these
the
are...
world. That and
I don't know exactly how
Well,
relevant
this
these
is gonna
details
sound
are,
weird,
but I don't feel like they're
but we
helping
don't look at
construct
death the same way.
any more coherent
in this reality,
understanding
death is like
of what
giving
her
up or
reality
making a
is.
mistake. How can you
Yeah,
fault
these are
someone
really
for
just
dying?
sort of superficial details.
We all publicly acknowledge that when someone dies, you're sad for yourself, not for them. That, and
And again, there's all
What is
this
it?
abstract philosophy
can
that
call
doesn't
our
seem to
dead.
matter. I mean,
when my grandmother passed away,
I'd want a
I was
detail
12.
that's just, oh, in my
I've
reality,
spoken
New
to her
Jersey's
once a
not an
month for the
island.
past 12 years. There are phones, special phones. You put in money, dial the social security number of your loved one, and for 3 minutes, you can
This is a
speak to
cool
them.
writing prompt, but doesn't actually
talk to them
answer
about anything.
anything. It doesn't
With one
tie back
exception.
to anything we've
Under
seen
no
so far, you know what I mean?
circumstances Are you allowed to ask about where they are and how they're feeling? If you do, they lose their phone privileges forever, and you have a 10-year hold on your account.
What? Like,
Trying to
For
parse
real?
that last bit tells me that there's maybe
Yes.
some kind of an embargo
never
on
dream.
human communication.
I didn't know
or...
about dreams when I first
There's
came
probably
here.
some shenanigans there where they're
I had
saying
my
you,
first dream
when you
the
call
night
the dead, you
before I met
actually
you.
call this world or something.
must be fate.
We also don't have fate where I come from. I think we never put ourselves in that sort of box. You take away your own freedom by even pretending things like that might exist.
What did you see when you traversed the soul space? What was it like?
I feel like this is a
I
discussion
don't
that maybe
have the
could have
talent with
had
words to
some
explain it.
impact to it
It's
5
something
hours
you
ago.
should see for yourself.
Yeah, something like that.
What?
At least
Leave
when
my
Vella
body?
first revealed
I don't
that
think
she
I could
was
Maybe
here from
not,
another
but-
world.
Are
Okay,
you implying
look at
that
it
you'd
this way.
rather, let the golden
Before I
alpaca
traveled
sit
the
for
soul
10 more
space,
minutes while
I
Vella
was a
talks
different
about all this?
person.
I'm saying
Someone
that the
who
golden
got hurt
alpaca
by
would have been
someone.
removed in editing.
Someone who believed they were loved unconditionally.
We
When
can
I was
dream.
out there, I realized unconditional love exists, but only as something to strive for. It's just a concept. There's no way to actually put it into practice. We can say we love someone unconditionally, and we can act like we do. But it's not to judge people for what they did to you or someone else. To accept someone for being human.
Accept someone for being human? I know what you mean.
I forget what the exact term
not
is,
funny.
but a
Coming from a
pithy
human.
statement I like to consider in
We're all
situations
human.
like this
We
is
all
that
have flaws.
sometimes
We all hurt
there's
each other, but
sometimes
that the thing
pretending
to be
is
fixated
halfway to
on?
being.
Only
And
for
I
the
do
first
believe
3 months, then
unconditional
people
love
generally
exists.
figure out that you're why.
Oh?
Yeah,
Have you
or
felt
you
it before then?
or you continue to fake it
So what if I
convincingly.
have?
The point is that
From who?
when you try
What's your
and when
name?
you actually try and improve something
know.
or you try and develop in a
just-
certain direction, sometimes
this
just
dream.
acting
in
on
this
what
dream,
you think that
was
involves
loved
kind of leads you the rest of the way to the actual thing in
Whoever
practice.
loved me loved my flaws and loved my mistakes as much as they loved the things worth making me loved.
I don't know. I'm just
That's
trying
so
to
hard to
comment
believe.
on the particular thrust of this conversation as to
Sounds like a
whether
dream.
there's any merit to the
So, who
idea
was
of
she?
love as being something you can put into practice.
Spit it out. Was it Sammy Park?
No, I don't
What
think
I'm
so.
getting from here is this unusual
Maybe it was.
conversation that's sort of implying
Maybe it
that
was you.
anybody should ever possibly
the
love
android in the
Alex for
van.
who he is. Like,
Maybe it
everybody
was
just
all
seems
three
to,
of you as
like,
one being.
they keep trying to imply that Alex has turned over this new leaf
Well,
and become
I
this
think you're a
amazing
lazy
person. He
ass
just
half the
hasn't.
time, so I
He's
don't
the
think
same
I'm
asshole
one
he
to
was
love
at the
you
beginning.
unconditionally.
Yeah,
But yes, keep
that
chasing
they're
the
just sort
missing
of
girl who went
willing
through
to
soul
look
space.
past that, and I sort of
I'm
understand
sure
wanting
when
to
you finally
look
find her,
past
she'd
it.
love you unconditionally.
Look past someone's flaws if you do actually
Hey,
start
that's
to
not
feel
fair.
something for them,
Also,
that there's
Sammy
nothing
is out
he's
there.
actually done, or there's no revelation on
She
the part of
isn't in
any
a
of the
soul
other
space.
characters
Like,
that
you
seems to indicate that
feel her
that's
out
a turning point that's happening,
Hmm.
other than
Maybe you're feeling her out there in the soul
Apologia
space.
earlier, or
Maybe.
going to talk to her at this swing
So,
set
Vella,
earlier in
what the
the
hell are we gonna do about
exact
finding
same
the
bad
android?
stances with a slightly
She's
different
trapped in
color
the van
palette.
and-
They literally
Calm
just put a
down.
brightness filter
You
on the
haven't checked on
background
us
here
in
and had us
1999
do this
today, have
again.
you?
If there's
Laurie
love
made a
in this
thread
story,
pointing out a
it
mysterious
wasn't
fan in all the most
put
recent
into the
unbelievable
game.
posts.
If there's love
And
in
here's
this
a strange
story,
one
it's for
for you.
reusable
In one of the photos
assets.
of Sammy Park, there's a van. He asked everyone who sees the van to reply to the thread and post a location so we can check it out.
Wait, are you serious? How did I not see this?
So I made a comment a little while ago to someone who
Okay,
was
I need to
talking
go back and check.
on Twitter about
Wow, this is perfect.
wanting to be
So
a
that
game
means
dev
she's
and
around
being
here
a
then.
little disheartened at the
I mean,
response to
vans have
Y2K
wheels,
being
so
so
it could be
incredibly
far away,
negative
but
because he
yeah,
says
it
it's the sort of thing
could
that dissuades him as a
We're gonna
would-be
need a car.
developer.
How else can we catch up to it?
To which I
Do you have
just
a car?
said,
No.
we don't dislike them
forgetting I've
because
lived
they're
in this
novice
reality
game
for a
devs.
year.
We dislike them because
How do you
they
expect me to
didn't
even
put
have
in
a
any
license?
effort.
I don't even have a social security number, and I make minimum wage at an arcade.
Damn. I wonder if Mom would let me borrow hers.
Claudio has a van. You could ask him if he'd drive you around. He's a cool guy.
So Claudio
He's
has
a
a
bit
van
older
now?
than us, so it makes sense.
Apparently
He's in his
so.
late 20s.
I'm surprised they
You
didn't
should
mention
spend some
that
time with him
about
and
5
Chandra,
hours
really get
ago.
to know them first.
You know,
Not
we
usually
went
a
to the
good idea
mountain.
to ask for rides
Yeah,
unless
I
you
understand maybe
know
wanting
someone.
to get the
least where I
exercise,
come
but
from.
Claudio forcing us to go through that dungeon if
good
he could have
idea.
theoretically drove,
You know,
then kind of a dick
is gonna
move, dude.
sound a bit
I
weird.
feel bad for defending your anime habit.
Lately,
That's where he keeps
felt
all his
like-
manga.
I don't even know my own reality. The more I think about it, nothing is as I remembered. When I was a kid, things felt different. Pre-college Alex's life was so much more simple. I never noticed all these things, all these strange things.
That's how I felt right before I left my reality.
Oh, y'all, that's just called growing
Maybe
up.
you're starting to get it, whatever it is.
They're finally understanding what it means to be an adult. To have to pay bills and taxes.
See, I'm not entirely convinced that they are, but well, I
I
suppose
don't know, it seems like Vella has that down. Vella understands what it's like to have a career.
I suppose we'll have to figure out the other secrets of adulthood next time.
I guess we will.